What is up, YouTube? I have Mark and Link from the Draft Board Hockey Show, one of the hottest YouTube prospect hockey shows in the universe. So how you guys doing?
We're good. We're good, Prospect Don. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Prospect Don. We're doing really good. It's been a great week. Phillies are on today. I know it's gonna be released later, but my Phillies play today. I'm excited. So everything's doing good.
Yeah, the Cubs lost, so it's a bad day for Chicago fans, but we lose all the time in any sport. So we're going to be doing the top 10 because that's where the Blackhawks are going to be this year. And there's a ton of amazing prospects. We got to see Gavin McKenna play his first game in the NCAA and was absolutely like electric out there. Looked super comfortable. I want to see. It's probably going to be very, very early that I see Gavin McKenna on your lists, but I wanted to go down and ask Mark first. Who's your number one player in 2026?
Huh. Gavin McKenna, nice and simple. I think it's going to be like that the whole season, unless the wheels fall off. But I don't see that happening, especially after last night's game. Watched that, and that was a lot of fun. Had some nice passing sequences, couple of assists. Looked pretty comfortable to start off his NCAA career. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Gavin McKenna finally at Penn State. LINC was a happy man for that for sure.
Absolutely. Number one for me is also going to be Gavin McKenna. I think we all saw last night at the late hour of 10 p.m. starting time. Gavin McKenna really just emerged as somebody who is going to offer a unique skill set for this draft class. It's been a long time since we've seen a winger come out of the draft like who with this good of a playmaking skill set. Gavin McKenna is going to be a very special prospect in the NCAA. Honestly, I think he's on Celebrini watch. We'll see if he can catch him in terms of those sorts of points. But yeah, Gavin McKenna is the first overall pick, and it's not even close.
I also have Gavin McKenna, and it's exactly what you guys said. He is one of those, kind of in that generational tier, in my opinion. I'm not going to put things in your mouth, but I think that he is very, very close to generational, in my opinion. And I know that name kind of gets thrown around a little bit, but you got to realize, Bedard probably was generational hype. You had Celebrini, who wasn't kind of overshadowed by that draft class in 2023, but then McKenna, I think, is just in that tier. So the incredible talent that's coming out recently is just phenomenal for the NHL. I think that we have another superstar with Gavin McKenna coming in, and Verhoeff is the only one that I think could catch him just because of positional value, in my opinion, being a right-handed defenseman with that size and that offensive ability. But he's going to be in the NCAA too, and I think McKenna might be a little more ready. So for me, it's Gavin McKenna. His player comp for himself was Patrick Kane, which is awesome. He grew up watching the Blackhawks runs, and I think that it would be very fun to see him with Connor Bedard, who's his cousin by marriage. I think that would be fantastic. I wanted your just like point prediction on Gavin McKenna for you or for Mark and Link, and also in the comments. So, what do you guys think Gavin McKenna is going to tally this season?
I say 50 to 60. I think is a fair. He hasn't, listen, he's still got some pretty difficult games coming up. You got a really good Michigan State team coming up. Actually, I'm going to go to the University of Michigan game. They're looking like a wagon last night. Absolutely put a beat down. And who they play? Maryhurst? Was that, or is that Michigan State?
They played Windsor. It was an exhibition game.
Well, that was the exhibition game with Windsor? That's
Yep.
right. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, but yeah, I think that once McKenna comes in and starts playing against teams like of that nature, then we get to see the real, challenge. I guess is you could say in terms of he's not going to have a lot of room and space. We'll say.
I will be in Hockey Valley, Pennsylvania for Gavin McKenna's home debut on October 10th, or on October 10th, which is actually October 9th is his home debut. But on October 10th, I'll be there for the game against Clarkson. And they have a pretty soft schedule when it comes to their out-of-conference games. And when he's playing against teams like Clarkson, I'm expecting about like 3 to 4 points, maybe. I don't know. I think that's a lot. But no, he had two against a really strong Arizona State squad. I think it's not out of the question to put him towards the 65, even 70 mark.
Woo!
I'm going to say 67 points. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Jesus, Anthony, I knew you were going to go there.
So yeah, I did. I actually wasn't even doing the 6-7 thing. I still don't understand that, and I I don't even know what that
It's
means,
whatever.
but
Don't worry about it.
yeah, 67 points. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, so yeah, I think Gavin McKenna is the clear number one. Who is your number two overall?
I'm gonna go with Keaton Verhoeff. I mean, you got a 6'4", 200-pound right shot D who's decently mobile, I guess you could say. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of adjusts to the NCAA play. If he can have a decent season in terms of points, and I know that Link had mentioned before, you want to kind of compare him a little bit to what did we talk about there, Link, that we compared him to?
I compared him to Artyom Levshinov a little bit,
Yeah,
points
I
wise.
mean, you know what? I think that if he can, I hear you hear kind of reminiscent of I'm throwing a blank here. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Anyways, he's that big mobile D, and I think that if he puts up 20 to 30 points in the NCAA on North Dakota, I think that kind of solidify his and I think it depends on the team too, right? And you got to remember this draft has a lot of wingers. It's deep in wingers and defensemen. So I mean, there's only a couple top centermen in the mix. We'll talk about them coming up, but I think that in terms of talent and size and right-handed D, you got to go with Keaton Veerhoff second overall right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with Mark here, and it's so close. I think they're in the same tier. That's why, top 10 rankings are a little hard, especially at this time, because a lot of these guys are in the same tiers in terms of, what kind of prospect they are at the same time. But Verhoff is just, 6'4", like you said, really, really big. I think he can use his body a little um, like very well in my opinion, and I think it's going to do him well in the NCAA. It's obviously not he's going to punch, like, hit people and Tom Wilson-esque defensively, but he's actually NHL ready size in my opinion, or NCAA ready size. So I think he's going to have a really good season. With Artem Levshinov a little bit here, he was coming from the Belarus, then BCHL, then NCAA, and the circuit was just way harder. And I think that Keaton Verhoff is a little more NCAA ready. And Artem Levshinov had a fantastic season. I think he had 35 points in 38 games at Michigan State. So I really do like Verhoff's game. I think that I really do like Ivar as well. I got to talk to him. His player comp for himself was Tim Stutzel. Really do like that kind of comp there. He's very good, like defensively, and his SHL stats this year are fantastic. Obviously, he's a winger, so it's going to push him down a little bit in positional value. But the right-handed defensemen go higher in drafts, so that's why I have him at 2, not 3. But for third overall, Mark, who do you have?
I got Ivor Stenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
so far this year in the SHL, he's got 5 points in 9 games or something like that. And I watched the tape on him. He's looking, he can hold his own. And like Link said, he's probably one of the more NHL ready players. And he's a 2007 birthday, so he's a little bit older than some of the other players on this list. But yeah, you know what? He's got all the intangibles that NHL teams like. He's got the speed, he's got the confidence with the puck. He's not afraid to attack the middle of the ice. From what I've seen this year, he's a little skittish along the wall at times. And I
There,
mean,
there is no board game from him. Trust me, as
yeah,
someone who's watched a ton of, there's no board game. Like
yeah.
wasn't in
So I
any
mean, you
preseason.
got
Yeah,
you
so
got to take that into consideration too, right? Teams or NHL teams like players who are willing to sacrifice their body, I guess you could say, and get in those dirty areas. So that's one thing that kind of might hold them back a little bit, especially if like someone like Tynan Lawrence, has a really solid season in the USHL this year for Muskegon, or Ryan Rubrook puts up plus 50 goals. He had 41 goals last year. We'll talk about him in a second. Mathis Preston is tearing up the dub right now. So yeah, they're like you said, that tier kind of drops off after Gavin McKenna, and it's going to be a battle for second overall, third,
Mhm.
fourth, fifth. That's going to be that's where we're going to see a lot of action, a lot of movement.
yeah. And for third overall, I have Keaton Verhoff. Obviously, again, it's the 1, 2, and 3 is pretty again obvious. We're gonna keep it the same way for until someone falls out, and maybe Tynan Lawrence squeezes his way in. For me, Verhoeff, again, tremendous 6'4" defenseman, right hand shot. I want a little bit more of offense out of him, and kind of I desire more out of his skating. Obviously, he's going to North Dakota because North Dakota has transitioned a lot of middling to poor skaters into really solid skaters. Just look at Sasha Boisvert from last year. I think he's going to get the development necessary. I just need to see it in person before I rank him up to the second overall. So let's move on.
Yeah, 1-2, it's going to be McKenna, Verhoff.